How's it going? So, I got a board for you today, and this was made exclusively because I am petty. So, the premise, Josh Doan, Nepotism. Arizona Coyotes, Josh Doan, Nepotism. So, I've been around the block for a while here. The Roadrunners jersey will apply at some point in this video, and I decided to go through every single Coyotes draft pick since 2006, 2007, the year I became a fan, and anyone that has notable connections. So if their dad or uncle just played minor hockey, maybe a guy plays 50 games in the NHL, didn't count it. I think my criteria was like 3 seasons or 100 NHL games. It's notable people. You're going to recognize pretty much everyone on this list. So there's the preamble. There's the setup. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We'll start off with 2008. Phoenix Coyotes, 28th overall selection in the first round draft, forward Viktor Tikhonov. Both his father and grandfather, his grandfather is also named Viktor Tikhonov, weird enough, had heavy Soviet hockey ties, including coaching and playing, and I do believe his grandfather was on the team, either coaching, that lost in the Miracle on Ice. I remember there's a whole story where he wouldn't watch the movie Miracle as a result. 2008-2009, 61 games, 8 goals, 8 assists, 16 points. Disappointing, but not a terrible rookie season. Then there's allegedly some drama going on behind the scenes. Doesn't want to get sent down to the minors, goes back to Russia, comes back to play for Chicago in 2015-2016. No points in 11 games, waiver claimed, back by the Arizona Coyotes, finishing it off 39 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. That's it. No more professional career for Viktor Tikhonov. Moving on, still in 2008, second round, 49th overall, forward Jared Stahl. And yes, I did have to do a double take. So you know who his brothers are. Eric, Jarrett, Mark, all consistent, long-time NHLers. 2 of them are still active. And I was a big fan of Eric Stahl for the longest time as a kid growing up, playing the video games. 2 games played in his career, both for the Carolina Hurricanes. 2012, 2013. I think that was the team when they had 3 of the Stahl brothers. They've never had all of them play together. So yeah, that was a failure. Anyway, 6th round, 159th overall, forward Brett Hextall. That name should definitely ring a bell. 0 NHL games, and his dad, you know, no one notable, just Ron Hextall. Yeah, you know. There you go. So 2008 was not a very great draft for the nepotism picks. And look, Viktor Tikhonov actually did have some potential. I don't remember there actually being anything with Jared Stahl. It was just he's a Stahl brother, and Brett Hextall was as forgettable as they get. If any of y'all are watching, it's not a personal attack. I'm just talking about you guys' assets. Anyway, 2011. Guarantee you, no one saw this one coming. He's still active. These numbers are about a month out of date. I've been sitting on this video for a while. Lost the notebook associated. 20th overall in 2011, defenseman Connor Murphy. As of this note-taking, 653 games, 39 goals, 135 assists, 423 points. Solid NHL career for him, only playing for Arizona and Chicago. And his dad, Gord Murphy, even if you don't recognize his name, he played 14 NHL seasons. There you go. We're still in the Maloney era, by the way. I don't think a single one of these picks is technically outside of the Maloney era until 2019. So keep that in mind. Next up, in 2012, or staying in 2011, 51st overall, Alexander Ratu. Now, his father, Alex ends up playing 0 NHL games. His father was Christian Ratu, who played 9 NHL seasons. I didn't know who he was, but there you go. 9 NHL seasons is not insignificant. I do believe it belongs on the board. Now, 2012, this one's going to sting for a couple people. So, 27th overall forward, Henrik Samuelsson. And I do believe at the same time, his father was still the defensive coach for the Coyotes. His dad actually was the defense coach for the Coyotes for quite a number of years during the Gretzky era. This was technically outside of that, so I don't remember when he stopped that. But it definitely was a weird thing. So, Henrik Samuelsson, he ends up in his entire NHL career, 3 games, 0 points in 14-15. And Tucson, he at least played 20 games in 2016, 2017. It's not going to make anyone feel any better. That was still probably one of the worst draft picks the Coyotes ever made. And the thing is, like, his brother, Philip, who's a defenseman, actually lasted longer in different leagues. I think Henrik is playing overseas. Philip got a lot more North American ice. Now, Let's go to 2013. You're going to recognize this individual, and that is 12th overall pick, Maxwell Domi. He played for the Coyotes between 2015 and 2018. 222 games, 36 goals, 99 assists, 135 points. He's still active right now. I think he's playing in Toronto. So at the time, 603 games, 122 goals, 260 assists, and 382 points. His father, Ty Domi, very common knowledge. Let's move on. Same draft, 163rd overall, goaltender Brendan Burke. I will give you approximately 5 seconds to try to figure out who he's related to. He ends up playing no NHL or AHL games. I think he goes back to Canada to play youth sports college level, and I don't know what's going on with him now. His dad, former Coyote Sean Burke, was a starting goaltender for the Coyotes. He also was a goaltending coach for the Coyotes. Again, I don't remember exactly when that stopped, but that definitely seems like one of those nepotism picks to me if I ever saw one. Next up, in 2014, 43rd overall, second round pick, forward Ryan McGinnis. And it's funny story, all right, there's a prospect that ASU allegedly already had commit to them that I misread the name as McGinnis. That was my bad. I'm an idiot. I can't read. I got to read things 4 or 5 times. So Ryan McGinnis plays 2 seasons in Tucson, 127 games, 14 goals, 17 assists, 31 points. He does play 27 NHL games between Columbus and Buffalo, 1 assist. Not very notable, nothing really to say there. Now we get to the big stuff. Now we get to the one that you guys probably notice as soon as the board goes up, and the one you guys are probably scratching your head because I was scratching my head with that one as well. So, 2016, 16th overall, defenseman Jakub Chychrun, and should have been the captain of the Coyotes. Still bitter about that. I'll go ahead and keep that there. Played for the Coyotes between 2016 and 2023. 373 games, 60 goals, 110 assists, 170 points. He is, of course, still active, playing for Ottawa. And you're probably wondering, why is Jacob Chychrun on here? Why are you wearing a Roadrunners jersey for a Coyotes video? His dad, Jeff, and I was saving this bit of information until I remade the history of the Roadrunners. I kept delaying that, and people started sharing this fact anyway, so it's common knowledge now. His dad, Jeff, played for the Phoenix Roadrunners back in the 90s. His grandfather, I think, also played, but that's just third generational. But, yeah, Jacob Chychrun, technically, that's a nepotism pick. Because it's not like Jeff Chychrun was a nobody. He played 8 NHL seasons. Yes, he did play minor hockey. He also played in the NHL for 8 years. You don't play in the NHL for 8 years if you're not a good hockey player. Jeff Chychrun was a good hockey player. Then finally, 2019, 76th overall, a pick that still hurts my feelings to this day, John Farinacci. Now you're probably wondering, what is he on here for? So, he goes to Harvard. He ends up saying, I'm not going to sign with the Coyotes. I just want to go test free agency. Apparently, it's really common for Harvard students. So I'm really glad ASU kicked the hell out of Harvard last weekend and ends up signing with Providence. So he's technically in the Bruins system, but he's playing for the Providence Bruins. So I got a couple of little things right here. So his uncles are Dan Donato, who went to Boston University, and Ted Donato, who played 13 NHL seasons and also played for both Boston and Providence. And his cousin, you probably recognize the last name there, his cousin Ryan Donato went to Harvard, played for Boston in the NHL, and played for Providence in the AHL. This one... And I love John Farinacci. He's got the winning mindset. The hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I really wanted this kid to stay in Arizona's system. I'm genuinely wishing him the best. This is not an attack on anyone here. I genuinely wish this kid the best. But if this, him signing with Providence and being at Harvard, in the Boston area, Boston system, there is so many connections there that if you want to talk about nepotism, you have to talk about John Farinacci. I was shocked when I had to quadruple check that information was correct. I had to legitimately quadruple check that one. Now, let's end it off with a little palate cleanser. So we got a couple of Roadrunners defensemen to talk about. Kevin Ekman Larson. Yeah, do not pretend you forgot about this. Oliver's younger brother, who's nowhere near as good as Ollie was, he ends up playing, 2 seasons with the Roadrunners, 17-18 and 18-19, 25 games and 28 games respectively, 2 assists, 1 assist, 3 total assists. Yeah, anyway. Then we also have, who is kind of one of the funniest insiders for the Coyotes. He always is showing up at the iconic Mullet Arena, and that is Jordan Schmaltz. He played for the 2020-2021 season. He played for the AHL Roadrunners, 30 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. He was objectively better right shot defenseman than Kevin Ekman-Larsson. Jordan Schmaltz actually wasn't a bad player. I can definitively say Kevin Ekman-Larsson sucked. And am I a jerk for saying that? Sure. Do I care? Not really. So, if you want to talk about nepotism, look, Josh Doan is the leading goal scorer right now in Tucson, having a phenomenal year. He was really good with ASU. If you want to talk nepotism, I don't see it. All right, I know the organization, yeah, you'd love to have Shane Doan's kid there. They didn't waste a first-rounder on him. They didn't pull a Victor Tikhonov, a Connor Murphy, a Henrik Samuelsson, a Max Domi, Jacob Chychrun, even though arguably Chychrun, Domi, and Murphy were not bad picks at all. But they didn't pull a Samuelsson. I'll stick with that. They didn't pull a Henrik Samuelsson with it. They picked him in the second round, and on top of that, Donor had no say in that. And considering how Shane Doan is now in Toronto because they didn't have a spot open for him in the hockey ops side, do you really think that this current regime of Bill Armstrong and the boys, do you really think they would waste a draft pick on a kid they didn't like? Josh has the size. He has all the things that Bill Armstrong likes, and there were other teams that were interested in him. He was probably going to go in the second to third round anyway. I don't see it. I genuinely don't see it. I do not see that as being a nepotism pick. I can look at anything else on this board. Max Domi, good player. Maybe slightly high at 12th, maybe, no idea. Chychrun, 16th, great pick. Connor Murphy at 20th, ends up being a great pick. Everything else on here, no. Not a single one of these. You get 0 games out of Brendan Burke, 0 games out of Jared Stahl, 0 games out of Brett Hextall, nothing out of Alexander Ratu. You're getting nothing out of most of these guys. And I know most of these are depth picks, but still, if you want to talk about nepotism, if you want to talk about, they wasted assets, they've done this for years. Maloney. Still Maloney, actually. 2016 technically is also in the Chaika era, so I'll put that as a hybrid pick, Chaika pick. We have no real examples of there being big nepotism picks in the Bill Armstrong era. The only 2 nepotism cases I can think of are Josh Doan, which I genuinely don't believe, and Jack McBain, whose dad played for Winnipeg, even though Jack McBain is a legitimate middle to bottom 6 player in the NHL, and they got him for a second round pick. I don't see it. As someone I've followed this team for a long time, all right, I am old, all right, I'm approaching 30, I'm a little terrified of that fact, but I've been around a long time, I've seen nepotism picks, I have seen them happen, all right? Josh Doan is not a nepotism pick. I don't care. You'll never convince me otherwise because at the very least, he's playing well. He's done well at every level of hockey so far. None of these other guys were standouts at different levels of hockey. I'm talking about the depth guys, obviously not Domi, Murphy, and Chychrun. Obviously, they were good, but most of these guys were not excelling where they were at or top couple players on their team and scoring for the most part. Josh Doan's done that both at the NCAA level and the AHL level. He's a legitimate prospect. I don't get it. I know it's easy to say, I know it's easy to be nepotism, but I don't get it. I genuinely don't. Full disclosure, Shane Doan's my favorite player of all time. Literally, if you look, I'll go ahead and rotate it right now. If you look over there, I got a Shane Doan picture, all right? I am definitely not over here pretending that there's no case to be had there, or pretending that I don't even like Shane Doan. I'm making this. I'm a big fan of Shane Doan. Josh is also a great kid. I just don't get it. I don't see it. I don't. Comment below if you want. You can bring up other cases. I am just saying I don't see it. There you go. That's this video has been in my head for months that I finally got the notes done for, finally found the notebook and got the video done. And there you go. I can't wait to see the comment section on this one. I genuinely can't. I'm gonna go ahead and end it like right about now.